everyone, I'm Kate Stratton, the owner of Home Mortgage Solutions, and I've been a mortgage advisor for approximately 7 years now. The thing I love most about my job is helping a client get one step closer towards owning their dream home, whether that be first-time buyers or home movers. My protection journey has been slightly different to some people's. I've never really struggled about having a conversation regarding protection or bringing up all the awful things that could potentially happen to a client during their lifetime, and talking about the different ways that we can look after them to make sure they don't have any financial worries during that time. The thing that held me back was that actually I was probably too passionate about critical illness cover and not as passionate about income protection. Due to some past personal issues that I've had, I kind of valued critical illness cover more than income protection, and I think that came across in all of my conversations with customers. My network is Stonebridge, and they ran a protection masterclass, and Ian from Legal in General came on and gave us lots of tips and hints and tricks, and tried to really make us think about the way that we deal with income protection and have that conversation with a client. What I realised was that actually I did need to change the way I did things, and by doing so it would help me show the customer that it's just as important as critical illness cover. In a first appointment, all we discuss as mortgage advisors is a fact find about that customer, and we look at their income and their outgoings. The tangible outcome of that is that actually, Mr. Client, you can buy this sort of property, which is realistically the bit that they're there for, and it's the bit that they want to know the most. We can only get to that outcome once we know how much they earn. So surely as a mortgage advisor, we should be looking at protecting those earnings no matter what. Because actually, if we took that income away, then they wouldn't be buying that house with us today. I switched up my first appointments and made my first appointments concentrate on income protection. So I'd link that income to income protection straight away. So they knew first and foremost that it was probably the most important thing that they could discuss alongside their mortgage. We have a duty of care as mortgage advisors because we make people's dreams a reality, but we also need to make sure that they stay that way. So quite often after a first appointment, we would then have a conversation with a client. So, Mr. Customer, we've discussed this, and because of this, this is what you can buy. This is the sort of property that you can look to purchase. But you can only do that because of this income. So actually, if I were to take that income away, there's the chance that you wouldn't be buying this house. And there's a very real possibility that if you're in this house at the time that you lose that income, you won't be staying there. Now, we need to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So we need to look at some sort of income protection to make sure that that income is always there for you no matter what. Whatever kind of illness or injury you have, you're safe and you're protected. So that really made me change up my insurance conversations, and I'd have that income protection conversation from day one all the way through, regularly mentioning it to the client. It never really affected my critical illness cover conversations because I still feel completely passionate about that as well. So it didn't have a detrimental effect on my clients one way or the other. And in actual fact, it meant that they realised the importance of both. That was better in a commercial sense, but also it was doing the right thing for the customer, which is the most important part of our job. We've all had customers who've had illnesses in the past and things that have happened to them. And the one that maybe all of this brought back memories of was my first ever client, who was 23. Her and her partner had bought their first house and they'd moved in together. And I tried to keep in touch with my customers as much as possible. Now, once she'd moved in, we were having a chat on the phone and she was telling me all sorts of things. And one thing that she did say, and I genuinely cannot remember how the conversation started, but she was telling me that she'd got a really bad knee and her doctor had told her that she'd got growing pains. Now, obviously, I do not profess to be a doctor in any way, shape or form. And I said to her, it just seems a bit strange because it's unlikely that you're still growing at the age of 23. It may be worth getting a second opinion on it, which was part of her insurance package that she'd taken with us at the time of buying the house. A good few weeks later, she called me back to tell me that actually she'd used second opinion and she hadn't got growing pains. She had actually got a really rare form of bone cancer that had been caught really early thanks to second opinion, which was brilliant. She had to go into hospital for approximately a year, so she was there for a very long time. But her and her partner had income protection and critical illness cover, and it meant that he could be in hospital with her and sleep there when they let him. He could spend time with her and be there to support her without worrying financially how they were going to maintain all their bills. Their critical illness cover had paid off their mortgage, and she could genuinely spend time concentrating on getting better. It means that now, many years later, she's absolutely fine. She's still a customer. She's got children. They've sold their house and bought another one, and they're married now. So out of the other side of things, it's brilliant, and her life is much better. It's everything she wanted it to be. She just had to go through hell to get there, but she did. And thanks to an income protection, critical illness cover policy and second opinion, it's meant that actually she's still here today to tell the tale. So it just reminds us that we have to do the right thing by our customers, and it really does make a huge impact on their lives when we do the right thing. Thank you for listening.